decided to do something pretty fucking crazy. It's Labor Day weekend and I'm alone and have no plans. So I decided what better opportunity to do a 24-hour readathon. If you're not familiar with what a readathon is, I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory. It's just like 24 hours of straight reading. I don't know how other people do it because I honestly have never watched any vlogs on this. I've just seen the thumbnails and seen people and like know of people doing it, but I don't know how it's usually done. So I'm gonna set my own rules here. Obviously, for 24 hours, I must be mostly reading. My rules are gonna be I have to read for at least an hour at a time. I'm allowed to take breaks after an hour of reading straight, and those breaks can be either short or long. I don't count things that are just gonna take me a few minutes, like going to the bathroom or like getting a snack or responding to a text or even like scrolling for a little bit on my phone. But if I'm wanting to like watch an episode of a show or clean up a little bit or play a little bit of a game, those are like dedicated breaks that I will have to wait until I finish my full hour of reading for me to do. And there are only a few exceptions, which is sleeping. I am not gonna disrupt my 8 hours of sleep for this. Also eating and working out. I already did a workout for today. I'm actually starting this at 2 p.m. So it's gonna run from 2 p.m. today to 2 p.m. tomorrow. I may do my workout after I finish the readathon tomorrow, but if I would rather do my workout when I wake up, then I'm gonna allow for that. Within this, my breaks are only allowed to take up to an hour, besides for the things I just mentioned. So if I need to go grocery shopping, if I do need to clean up, if I need to film a video or I want to edit a little bit or watch an episode of something, I can do that, but it can't last more than an hour. And however long I take during that break, I have to double my reading time afterwards. So I hope that makes sense. But say I sit down right now, I read for an hour, then I get up and I decide to do some chores for 40 minutes. Then the next time I read, I have to read for an hour 20 before I'm allowed to take that break. And then say after that I decide to film for an entire hour, then I have to read for 2 hours after that. With this method, I am hoping that it won't completely burn me out of reading, because I know that if I force myself to do something I don't want to do, it makes it really hard. And if I just conceptualize this as literally only reading every chance I had and doing nothing else except sleeping, I would quite literally do nothing else and I would feel like a zombie the entire time and it wouldn't be enjoyable. Instead, I want to allow myself to be able to walk away when I'm kind of not paying attention anymore or not enjoying it as much anymore, while still making the main focus of this whole experience, obviously reading. Doing all of this, my main goal, like the goal that I expect to achieve no matter what, is to finish my book I'm currently reading and to finish the other physical one that I have waiting for me, therefore allowing me to go to the library and get a new set. But I also have, I believe, one. Let me check actually. Yes, I also have one more digital book that I would like to just get through. I probably started it like 1 to 2 years ago. And I do have a lot of books downloaded on my Kindle app, which I'm definitely not opposed to starting considering they are there. And I'm probably gonna get through my physical books, but I don't know if I'm really like super involved in any of them. Right now, the only other ones that are on my mind that are kind of lingering are all the series that I've started and haven't finished, which the ones I can think of right now are The Cruel Prince, Lightlark, and Done and Dusted. Honestly, I wasn't too into The Cruel Prince as far as I remember. Lightlark was decent, but I still wasn't like overly into it. Plus, both of those two fantasy books were just a little bit too much fantasy after reading all of Sarah J. Maas's books. Done and Dusted wasn't for me for sure, but I kind of want to finish it just for the vibes because I am writing a cowboy book. I'm also watching My Life with the Walter Boys, so this kind of like ranch theme is really hitting for me and I'm really enjoying it as a concept though. Like just conceptually, cowboys, ranch, horses, line dancing. Hopefully you guys get the vibe. So these are all options except for all of the series I would have to buy the next book. So right now I kind of have 8 potential books to pull from. Quite a few of these I think are already determined as DNFs, but I'm curious and slightly want to go back and read them. But I know the only reason I'm doing that is because I don't have any other reads currently on me and I would need to go to the library. So So last resort, if I'm completely uninspired, I don't want to read anything I have on me, and I don't want to buy anything new. I have a ton of authors and books on my TBR that I can go and search the library for, because one of these has got to be there. Before we get into my first read, hello beautiful people of the internet, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jada. I post a lot of lifestyle content, a lot of self-help content, a lot of wellness content. Currently trying to find my little niche, and I've been tiptoeing in the world of reading and writing, and honestly I've been needing to get through these books ever since coming back from Bali. I just have not been grinding away at my books like I was before, and my TBR is just getting more and more intense. Honestly, there's so much to read, there's so much to write, there's so much to do, but I know once I'm holding on to my library books too long, I start feeling really weird about it, so I need to finish these. I'm currently on the third of my 3 books I got from the library with my last checkout, and this one is Christina Lauren, True Love Experiment. I'm only about this far into it. I want to say this is like 10%, if even that. It's 15, so 15% done. I have about 85% left, but let me tell you guys, I have been desperately wanting to get through this because it has me hooked. I just haven't had enough time to really get through it. I really like Christina Lauren's books, but so far I think this might be my favorite. Dare I say, only 8 chapters in. I don't know, I think this conceptually has been my favorite so far. I think it's really, really unique. I think I've only read 2 by her so far. The Paradise Problem, and I'm blanking on the name of the first one. Well, now I have to check. Love and Other Words. Love and Other Words was really good, but I don't think it's going to stick with me as much as some of these other ones will. And yes, the only other one I read after that was The Paradise Problem. I gave The Paradise Problem 4.75 stars, and I gave Love and Other Words 3.75 stars. Basically 5 and 4. I think this again is going to be somewhere between 4.5 to 5 stars based on my current assumptions, but who really knows? I'm really stingy with 5 stars. It basically has to be a 6 star for me to rate it as a 5 star. You know what I mean? Otherwise it's gonna be a 4.75 or a 4.5. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. But as I said, plotline is impeccable in this one so far. I don't know if I'm obsessed with the characters like I have been in some other books. I'm gonna start right around 2 o'clock. I think I'm gonna start at 1:45, specifically because I have something that I wanna be present for at 2 o'clock tomorrow, and I don't wanna be finishing up this video literal last minute. So yeah, 7 more minutes and we'll get into this. 24 hours on the clock, and let's just go ahead and set the first hour. We're on it. This book is good. I'm making some pretty good time because I have 20 hours and 30 minutes left, and I've done 2 full hour sessions with like a little bit more. I think both times I read about 15-20 minutes more than what I needed to. Took a 30-minute break the first time, and now I think I've almost been at like an hour break, I would think. I don't really care that much because I was already planning on doing like a 2-hour session this time. For the future sessions, I'm definitely gonna track it, but I don't know. I figured this one would be under 30 minutes, and I don't think it has been. But I'm not even mad about it because I think I just said I'm over halfway through. I'm about 55%. So 15 to 55% in about 2.5 hours. Pretty good time. So I should be able to finish this probably in about another 2-3 hours. I'm gonna be able to start my other book tonight for sure, and I know it's not nearly gonna be as good as this one. Like, I'm fairly sure. I love female main characters that are just overtly sexual and are really inappropriate. Not sure how well that would go over in real life, but I do love them in books. On top of that, with Ali Hazelwood and Christina Lauren and a lot of these kind of romance authors that I've been reading, at least lately, I'm getting very stuck in like this push and pull hole where the characters are always like fighting back and forth on if they actually want each other, and a lot of them are so annoying because they have no real reason why they shouldn't be together. They're just like fighting something in themselves usually, and that trope honestly just gets tiring to me. It is a little bit annoying in this one, but I think it makes more sense because there's an actual good reason for it, and you're kind of thinking the same thing. You're kind of like, I don't want want this to work out. Not where things are at right now, but at the same time you're wanting it to work out, obviously, because you're reading a romance book. So this one pretty much has a lot of the tropes that usually get on my nerves because I've been reading way too much of it, but they're doing it in the right way. I don't know what the major like fallout of this one's gonna be, but with all of these tropes that I have been reading over and over again, I know something dramatic is gonna happen, and I know it's gonna make me question things, but I'm not gonna question things this time. I'm just gonna stick with it because no way it ends on a negative note. They never do. I'm so excited to finish it. Like I said, I'm gonna do a 2-hour session, then I'm gonna eat my dinner. Then I might watch an episode of a show, or I might film. Filming is probably good because I also need to edit tonight, and I'm gonna do that between reading sessions. So yeah, let's get to it. Okay guys, we have finished the first book of this readathon. It is almost 9 o'clock. I have 17 hours left of the challenge. So in 7 hours, I have pretty much completed an entire book. Obviously, I started at 15%, so I had a little bit of an advantage, but I feel like this one is a little bit long. I don't know, but I got through it, and honestly, let me pull up my story graph right now. Mark it as 100% read, mark it as finished, and let me just say, this book was a 5-star. I liked it. It was entertaining the whole way through. I felt like I understood the conflict. It wasn't redundant. It didn't feel annoying to me. The spicy scenes were good. The actual romance was good. I liked all of the characters. I did not realize that this was like a spin-off to another book that they had wrote. So that's my only thing, is like now I gotta go and read the other one. But yeah, I'm tagging this as I would say hopeful, lighthearted. The pace I would say is medium. Plot or character driven, I think. I'm gonna say both. I always say both. It's never like one or the other for me. But yes, there's strong character development. Yes, I found the characters lovable. Yes, I'd say the cast of characters is diverse. Well, I don't know. We have like some side characters having diversity, and obviously the main female is Asian, but it could have been better. But also, I'm gonna say yes. And then are the flaws of the main characters the main focus of the book? Yes. And yeah, I'm gonna give it 5 stars. Leave it at that. By the way, if you want to follow me on Storygraph, I'll put my account right here. I've pretty much only started taking this seriously in the last like year or two, and I'm making good momentum. Like right now, I am at 17 books read this year at a goal of 15. So I'm doing pretty well. Anyways, with all that being said, I'm going into this book. If he had been with me, honestly, lately I have not been one to like read descriptions. I just kind of go into it. Like I'm gonna read them either way. So yeah, I'm gonna go into it. My boyfriend got me this for our anniversary. No, he got me this when I came back from Bali, and I haven't gotten a chance to read it because I had all these other books checked out. I obviously want to read it since he got it for me. I will be quite honest though, the cover is giving me something I would read in like junior high or high school. That is not a bad thing because a lot of those books I read were really amazing, but I do think it's going to be very YA. And as I said, I am a little worried because I've seen some negative reviews. I hadn't even heard of this book before he gave it to me, and then afterwards it started popping up a little bit on my TikTok, so I'm like, I don't know. We're gonna see. I know nothing about it. I've just seen comments. So before we go into it, I'm gonna film an hour-ish worth of this video. Maybe work on getting some clips transferred while I'm reading my next 2-hour segment. And then I may or may not go to sleep. I don't want to push it like too much, but I also want to sleep as little as I possibly can handle because I don't want to take away from the readathon. Like I really would rather read as many books as possible than prioritize a good night's sleep tonight. Is that toxic? Maybe, but this is like the one time I will say this is more important to me than sleeping. So yeah, I'm gonna focus on the video first because I need this video that I need to film posted tomorrow. So I need to film and edit it, and then after that I'll kind of just see how I feel. Good morning, you guys. I pretty much read every second since I finished filming my video, besides the time I was sleeping for. I made it about this far into this book, 25 chapters as of last night, which conveniently is like 25% of the book. And I want to say I only read it for an hour and a half. So with 4 hours left of this, I could definitely finish, I think. It's about 10 o'clock. I woke up around 9, but then I made breakfast, I got ready. I was just kind of sluggish this morning. I had a hard time falling asleep, even though I was like really tired. I tried to go to sleep around 11:30 and then couldn't fall asleep until like 12:30. So I'm kind of annoyed about that because all the time I spent not being able to fall asleep, I could have been reading. I did end up picking it up and read another like 2 chapters to make me a little bit more tired. But yeah, sleep really got in the way of me getting a lot of reading done. And I'm kind of bitter about it because I think I might only be able to finish this one. So far, I don't know how I feel about this book. It is not that great to me. The writing style just isn't my vibe. And it is like kind of edgy and definitely does feel like something I would read in high school or middle school, but it is keeping my attention and I do want to read it all the way through. Like I'm not about to just stop. But anyways, let's keep at it because I want this finished. That book was ridiculous. That is 100% something I would have written on Wattpad when I was like 12. Just every dramatic thing you could possibly think, just put into one. Quite literally, like I'm thinking about the plot developing in this person's mind when she was writing it, and it's like, you know what would be tragic and crazy? Let's do this. Oh my god. I'm really not trying to be mean. It's just like, it was obvious that it was all gonna happen that way, but also like you would think there would have been an effort to make it less obvious, but just based upon how the book was going, it was very clear that like, I'm trying to say this without spoiling just in case anyone wants to read it, but yeah, just about everything that could go wrong in this book went wrong, and it's just, I'm like continuously going through all like the tragedy in this, and it's just like comical. Like this woman, I think, has no light in her life. I feel like she wrote herself into the main character, and she had a lot of very dramatic feelings and she wanted to let them out. There was a lot of foreshadowing. I don't even know what I'm gonna rate this. I think I'm gonna rate it 2 stars, maybe like 1.5. I feel like I only rate books 1 star if I can't finish them, and obviously I could get through this even though it was horrible. Honestly, this was just not for me at all. I think I probably would have liked it if I was a teenager, but now I'm not so sure about it. I don't know, I feel like 2 stars is probably fitting. I'm gonna take a glance at my other ratings and then we'll see. So it looks like I rated Done and Dusted 2.5. My Murder was 2.25. Onyx Storm was 3. Ooh, The Cruel Prince was 2.75. A Court of Frost and Starlight was 1.5. I was such a hater for that book. I am so sorry. I know a lot of you guys loved it. I'm still feeling 2 stars even after looking at that. And hear me out. I think my reasoning is the plotline isn't bad. This is not necessarily a plot that I could look at and judge, although I found it young. It still was able to keep my attention. I was still able to finish it. And yes, I did have that element of like, what the fuck did I just read? But it wasn't like for the plot itself. It was more of the execution, I think. I have such a hard time explaining my thoughts about these kind of things. I can genuinely say with this one that I just did not care. Like, I had no attachment to the characters. I did not care about the relationships. I had no happiness, no sadness. There was literally no emotion attached to this for me. But I think the idea was there. And like I said, I definitely would have enjoyed this in my earlier days. I only have an hour of the readathon left. I do think I'm gonna start The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. So I'm gonna read as much as I can of this in an hour, and I'll update you guys when I'm all finished. My last hour-long sprint is over, and I got through this much of Evelyn Hugo. 60 pages, 15%, and I'm already through The First Husband. I think it's too soon to say for this one, but I feel like it's gonna be kind of neutral for me. Like, decently good, but nothing that really stands out for my personal taste. To be fair, when I first started this, I think I only made it about 1 chapter in, and then I didn't have the brain capacity, so I just put it away and then didn't pick it up again until now. That was probably like 2 years ago. Maybe more. But I think I kind of felt the same way, where it was just like information dense and I didn't know what the story could possibly be. That is absolutely not a bad thing. I think you shouldn't be able to predict the ending, really. I think the suspense is what makes the book good. So I am pretty interested, but I simply like don't know. I can't know where this is gonna head. I will probably put my review on my Instagram, so be sure to follow my account right here. But this is pretty much all I have to say for the reading vlog. Considering I can't finish and can't rate this last book, it seems like in 24 hours, if you account for like 8 hours of sleep, you can only really read like 2 books, give or take. If I didn't sleep, probably 3, but then I would have been reading so much slower because I would have been exhausted. I actually found this a lot more fun than I thought. I always hate things that feel like they're taking me from like accomplishing stuff and being productive. So this was hard for me to accept for a little bit, but actually I had a good time. It was a good little side quest to go on for the weekend. I can't be mad at it. There was not really any point that I was like, I don't want to read anymore. Like I was enjoying my dedicated time to reading. So yeah, I would recommend anyone actually try this out. It was pretty fun. Even though I got a 2-star book out of it, I also got a 5-star book out of it. And as I said, this is gonna be pretty much all of the physical books off of my TBR. And now I can just get more from here on out and without feeling guilty because I have some backlog. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and a comment. And if you're feeling jealous, you can even subscribe. I do hope to see you guys all in the next video, but if not, bye bye.